Who would have thought we'd have reached this point? Much later than planned, but here's the preview for the Manchester United game. The big one, the biggest home game I would say Town's had in many a year. Probably since 2005 when we played Spurs. But what I'm going to do in this video is going to be a little bit different to my other previews. I'm going to tell you what people have projected to be the Manchester United team. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this game in general because there's not a lot head-to-head to go on. All I can tell you with that is we've played each other 16 times. The last time we did play Manchester United was way back in 1948. Actually, where the Mariners got a 1-1 draw that day. And a wonderful interview that Matt Dean did with... I like to call him Mr. Hall, respectfully. Try and find that on BBC Sounds. That was a fantastic little interview. A guy that had obviously been there and saw the last time that Manchester United came to Bundle Park. And very good story. Very nice to hear from the guy. Fantastic. I believe he's going to be there as well tomorrow, which should be absolutely fantastic. This game, it's one of these sort of games that was kind of not in my thought process. You know, like I don't think it was any fan's thought process. Where you know, we usually go into draws and we pulled out teams like Plymouth or Brighton or Southampton or no, they're not good draws, but the fact, they're kind of like, you don't really get a big team, do you, a lot of the time. But what Town have shown over the years is sort of how good they are in cup competitions in general. I mean, definitely under Alan Buckley, we made the fifth round a couple of times of the FA Cup on, I think, a couple on back-to-back occasions. We've always been a team for the one-off game. We do use the underdog tag. I think a lot of other fans give us the sort of underdog tag, and some people, as we know, coming to Grimsby or going to Cleethorpes, it's not the best, is it? And I think what it shows though is that how well we have progressed as a team, and over the last 4.5 years with the owners, really what they have brought to the club. Now with Polly, but obviously before that with Debbie, and everybody inside the club as well, bringing us on to develop us to get the fact that we are getting through in cup competitions. These draws are possible, and I think Man U will not like coming here. They're not going to like coming to Bundle Park at all. And I know everyone was thinking, especially when the draw was first made, I'd have loved to have gone to Old Trafford. I think them coming here is more of a leveller. I really do. And I think, I'm going to take you through what, I think it was the Manchester Evening News, was it the Independent? I'll take you through what, obviously the journalist has projected as the team that will play for Man United. For Grimsby, I do not know. And to be honest with you, I don't mind, because it's a game that the Mariners have got no pressure in whatsoever. I mean, if you want to know the betting odds, as of when I saw it, as of earlier, the Mariners were 12-1 to win this. Manchester United were 1-9. 1-9. You can't really get more odds on if you tried. I'm amazed that they gave us 12-1, to be honest. But you look at how well the lads have played so far this season, unbeaten in the league, and everyone talks about Kieran Green. Well, the man himself, Kieran Green, he's going to love this, and he's going to thrive on this, especially when you get some of the top stars. Yes, there'll be some youth players put in there. All big Premier League clubs do that, but maybe not as many as people think. I say that because Man U do not have European competition this season, so they are not going to be probably as weak as people are probably assuming, it's going to be a very interesting sort of thing. What is David Artell going to do? What is he going to do? Who is he going to pick? Well, in goal, he is obviously going to put Christy Pym. And you probably keep most of the side as it is. Jaden Sweeney, Doug Tharm, maybe put Terrell Warren in there. It's Harvey Rogers is guaranteed. That's more likely going to probably be the back four if we played the four, or three if we played the wing backs with Jaden and that sort of thing. Kieran Green's bound to be in that one. I think, to be honest with you, I think he wanted to make sure he was fit for this one. So there's no doubt Green is going to be in the side. I think for Justin Amalazor, it would be an absolute thrill for him. Obviously, being a Manchester United fan. In fact, he had an interview with Matt Dean. And after our last league win. And he said, I'd love Man United. And I don't know if Justin was a good omen or a bad omen. And we ended up coming out last in the draw and getting Man United. So, and to get them here, I think is more special than going to Old Trafford, weirdly enough. Because getting a big club like Man United to travel to Grimsby Town is absolutely massive. We've sold out the ground. I think we could have sold it 3 or 4 times over, to be honest. Obviously, there's been some issues with apparently some Man U fans have got tickets into the main stand. That's been adjusted by the club though, and they're reselling those to Grimsby Town supporters. So if there is any left, do go and get them. But it's incredible, isn't it? You get for a club like ours, this is once in a lifetime. Like I said, the last time we played Man United, my dad wasn't even born. We may never in this lifetime play Manchester United again. So I think for the size of the task, if we go into the game a little bit, like I've already said, there was no pressure on the Mariners whatsoever. Whether we win, lose, draw, or what. The only story is really us beating Man U. If Man U come to Mundell Park and win 4-5-6-0, well, people are going to be expecting the Mariners to lose heavily. And I'll be honest, probably if it had been at Old Trafford, I would have thought that because it was Old Trafford. And that's why. Whereas at home, I think we've got more... we've always got a fighting chance, but we've got a puncher's chance of beating them. I mean, their form coming into this, they're playing very high tempo. High tempo. Ruben Amorim is, I think, happy in some cases, maybe in the way they're playing, but not necessarily with the way they, with the results so far, losing to Arsenal on the opening day when they really should have beat them, and then a draw last time out away at Fulham, which for the first 5 minutes they bombarded Fulham, 5-10 minutes, and then got ahead and for some reason switched off. But none of these players would have been to a ground like ours. None of them. And I think that kind of... it's like the unknown for them. For Man United, it's all about mentality. For us, it's all about, to be honest, just do the basics well. If you do the basics well, then, don't be afraid to put a tackle in. And we know Kieran Green won't. We know that for certain. I don't know what Artel's going to do up front. I really don't. I'm sure Danny Rose will be on the bench. I don't think he'll start. I'm sure, I'm almost certain, I think Jay's Cabia will start up top. And I think he probably should. But if Rosie can give us half an hour, if there's something in it, and Rose is going to get on if he can. And I think whoever gets on there will deserve to be there. Evan Curry, an absolute gem, and a great soul as well. The players, the fans, the club deserve this. I've been following the Mariners for over 30 years now. I've been following the Mariners. Been a season ticket holder for nigh on 15 years, and it's such a strange and weird feeling to say that we're going to be playing Manchester United. Now, Artel was on TalkSport on, I think it was, as I'm recording this morning, with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist, and he said this in a couple of interviews, but he said that to them this morning. We don't fear them. Why should we fear them? If anything, they're going to probably, to be honest with you, be shitting themselves through playing us, because they don't know what they're coming up against. When they come up against Arsenal or Liverpool or Spurs, or they roughly know, they roughly know what they're going to be coming up against. They don't come to grounds like Blundell Park on a regular basis. They really don't. So, we could use that as an advantage, and I think it's a game that everyone wants to be a part of. Whether you're a fan, whether you're staff, whether you're the owners, whether you're the management team, whether you're players, there's not one player that is at Grimsby that's going to not want to play in this. And if you get picked for the first 11, you're going to be absolutely buzzing. You're going to be absolutely buzzing for everybody to play in this. And it's just things are bearing fruit for us under the ownership of Jason and Andrew. Let's be honest, it just is. Never been outside the top half of the league bar once, bar one season out there for. We're kind of developing at a good pace, a steady pace, and things like this. And only a game like this against Man United is going to make us stronger. And financially set. And that's why, I hear people say, well, it's at the cup, doesn't matter. Cups don't matter, the league matters. I agree with that. But then you get a draw like this. You have a chance to have a draw like this. And you're thinking, think of the money that we could generate from this. And the exposure that we're going to get. I mean, let's look at it this way. The game is on ITV, but it's also on Sky Sports Football. So 2 channels are taking Grimsby against Manchester United. Think of the exposure on basically terrestrial TV with ITV and, Sky TV. 2 lots of fans are going to be, fans and people are going to be watching this. I know that all pubs around the area, if they can't get to the game, I know people were gutted that they couldn't. That's just unfortunate about having the size stadium that we've got. But all pubs are showing it. If you can't get into the ground, then some pub or establishment will be showing that game, because it is the biggest game to come to this area. And it is one of the best clubs in the world. Biggest clubs in the world. Whether they're one of the best clubs in the world at the minute, that's debatable, but definitely one of the biggest clubs in the world, and maybe outside Real Madrid or Barcelona, probably the biggest name club in the world. So, it's such a different dynamic. That's why I'm making this preview more about me talking rather than me talking stats, because this game is nothing but Grimsby Town can only win this. We can only win at this. Result doesn't matter. Do I believe Town can get a result? Yes. Yes, I truly do believe that Town can get a result here. At Old Trafford, I wouldn't be too sure at Old Trafford. But here, most definitely feel like we can get a result here. And it's just to see the buzz around the town and the amount of fans abroad realising that Grimsby are meaning business right now. And as I've said in other videos, I may not have been David Artell's biggest fan at all, but what I can say is that he's part of this as well. He's the one that's putting the team together. He's the one that in the end got us to get past Shrewsbury to get this opportunity. So credit to David. David's doing. I will say David's doing a great job at Grimsby. I can't say that, but I'm sure over the season there's going to be a couple of bumps in the road. But it's not about that. This is about a game that is 77 years since we played them. Funny that, isn't it? Because our FA Cup run a couple of years ago, was it 76 years or 78 years before we made an FA Cup quarter-final? Something that sounds familiar. And this is what we have to grab onto, is the story here is Grimsby making it through to round 3. If Man U beat Grimsby, well, they're supposed to. They're supposed to beat Grimsby. I mean, you can tell how big this is, even for the TV companies. Because as of early this morning, there was already TV trucks outside London Park. Now, I can say that because Grimsby themselves announced that. The ITV truck was already outside in London Park's main car park. This was 24 hours, more than 24 hours before the game. And there's two reasons why this game is to be on one channel. I knew Sky had had it. Didn't realise ITV were going to take it as well. But two reasons. One, it's because it's here. And they can see an upset coming here. But also, yes, it's because it's Man United. Man United are always on TV. If Man U play a game, they're always on TV. And they always will be, you know. But this is just a buzz. I hope that with Justin being a Manchester United fan, I'd love Justin Malazzo to come on and get the winner. I would love it for that lad. I would love it for Justin if he was able to come on and cause that bit of history of being able to score the winner against his team he supported as a boy. That would be maybe not quite a Phil Jevons moment when Phil did it at Anfield, coming from Everton, but to him it would feel just as big, and I think for us it would be just as big. But what we can't deny is that we are coming up against one of the biggest clubs in the world. And I'll take you through what a couple of journalists are basically predicting the side to be, the Manchester United side. This is coming from, I believe it's the Evening Standard, or it's from the Standard. I believe it used to be called the Evening Standard, but the Standard. And I'm going to tell you exactly what they are predicting for the Manchester United team, and then I'll tell you what I think Town will do. Obviously, they're not going to have Mazraoui or Martinez. They're both injured. Lisandro Martinez and Mazraoui, they're both injured still. Altay Buendia seems to be but I don't think he'll play in this one. But you know, I think the pressure's already on Man United. It's on in two cases. A, Man U are not in great form right now, and B, you know, a win against Grimsby, it's a lot of people are writing us off and keep doing it, and I think some of their fans are as well. Some fans will be saying, well, this is just going to be easy. It may be, but at the end of the day, there's no pressure on us. I do believe that Benjamin Sesko will make his first start at London Park for Manchester United. He played about half an hour in their game against Fulham. Not really started great, but you know, even this predicted team that people have come up with, you look at the quality, you know, that they are going to still be able to put on. It's insane compared to that. From the Standard, this is who they are saying, on an Evening Standard, are actually saying this is their projected Manchester United 11. They're projecting it to be 3-4-2-1, with Onana in goal, Fredrickson, Maguire, Heaven, Ahmad, Mainu, Ugarte, Dalot, Fernandes, Cunha, and Sesko. And you look at that on paper and you're going, Grimsby can't compete with that. You know, Bruno Fernandes and Mateus Cunha, who they signed from Wolves or something, Benjamin Sesko, thinking Harry Maguire, who probably hasn't been here since his Hull days, Andre Onana, they might see them as, well, that's a second string Man United, if you want to put that. Kobe Mainoo obviously has played for England on many occasions and made the Euros final with England last European Championships. That side in general, that they're going to literally, or they're projected will or predicted to play anything like that. That's going to be a very, 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 very tough game. But for them, like I said, it's like stepping into the unknown, which is basically what it is for Manchester United. It's stepping into the unknown. They don't play Grimsby on a regular basis. They're so used to looking at, Man City, Liverpool, Aston Villa every other week. You know what I mean? That's what they're used to coming up against. To do it against Grimsby, they could look past us. And there is that real possibility that they could look past us. And where we're going to do it with our team is I'll take you through what the actual team was for the last game that we played. So the last league game, and I'll tell you where I think there may be some changes and where there may not be, or where I would see the changes. So if we were to look at it really, we've actually got a winning record against Manchester United. But like I said, this isn't about stats, because I could read you that Grimsby beat Manchester United on October 10th, 1947 by 4-3. And we've only ever lost twice to Manchester United in the history. But, it is what it is. If you look at the form, I will say that. Still unbeaten, Grimsby Town. And obviously Manchester United not in the best of form. But if we were to look at now Grimsby's last lineup that they actually played with the last time they did play, the actual team lineup that was played was Christy Pym, yes. Harvey Rogers, yes, I can see starting. Cam Janet, yes. Terrell Warren, Reece Staunton, I can see them probably both dropping to the bench. Realistically, I can probably see Sweeney and Rogers, not Sweeney and Rogers will already be there. Probably Tharm coming back in, I would imagine. George McEachran, yes, absolutely, I think he will start this. Justin, I don't think will start. I think I think Darrell Burns may start, but I think Charles Vernon may start against Grimsby, against Man U. Do I think Gazzatori will start? Possibly. Evan Corey will, that is a guarantee. Jace Cabia, yes, I think he will. Could Sunset Bell get a little cameo? Danny Rose, could he get a little bit of a run for some extra minutes? Maybe. I think that'll probably come against either Bristol Rovers or even in the Virtue Trophy coming up after that. But I think there'll be, a few a few changes, but not that many. Probably, like I said, Chaz for Justin, I think. Jaden Sweeney will probably come in. And obviously I think Doug Tharm and Kieran Green is obviously will probably come in for Tory. You know what I mean? It's great to be able to talk about Grimsby in this sort of manner. You know, we're about to play, like I said, Manchester United, and it's just it's probably the biggest game I've ever seen them play. Definitely at home. I wasn't able to get when we played Spurs in 2005 or Liverpool when we beat them in 2001 at Anfield. Like I said, over the years we've gone to Everton and won there. That was the game that actually alerted Everton to Paul Wilkinson. We've gone to Wolves and won there in the Cup, FA Cup or League Cup. Like I said, we've won Spurs thanks to an absolute screamer, and just there's no reason why Grimsby can't do this, and I think everyone should be excited. I think, like I said, we've got nothing to lose, and I just want the lads to go out there and put a couple of early tackles in on them. Look, that we're not going to be pushed around by you just because you're Premier League and we're going to make you know that you're in for a game. And we can set that early on. And it's a game in a way all fans can enjoy. The only fans that won't enjoy it is Grimsby, Manchester United. Grimsby, we will enjoy it, but Manchester United fans are the only ones that aren't going to enjoy this, because even they know it's only them where it can go wrong. It's just going to be bouncing from the minute that we even before the lads come out, probably about an hour, 2 hours before, it's just going to be absolutely bouncing, and it's going to be electric in the stadium. It really is, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm not going to give a score prediction. Obviously I want Grimsby to win. I think they can win. I'm not giving a score prediction though. I'm literally, if we got through on penalties, I'd be happy. It's one of these sort of games where we want to and should believe that we can get a result, and hopefully we will. But if you want to leave me your score predictions, do so. But for one, I'm not giving one. I'm literally going to just be enjoying this. I'm going to be cheering the lads on and watching them and just taking it all in, because I think that's what fans haven't done, and what we have to give all the lads. I said this in my review of the Accrington game. We have to give all the lads, all the players, the credit, because since this draw against Manchester United, they've gone unbeaten, but since then they've won 2 and drew 1. Their heads have not been turned by this. I'm sure in the back of their mind the lads' minds have been on this, but when it's come to the league games, they've been 100% 10% committed to the goal. So we have to give all the lads credit. They haven't phoned it in and go, oh, well, we've got Man U to him. That's the game we need to be ready for. No, they've gone and they've got results elsewhere. They've got victories elsewhere. They got the draw, like I said, at the weekend. But it's just an absolute. It's an absolute thrill, this. And the fact Grimsby are about to play Manchester United. Let's put it this way: it's 11 against 11. You know, let's look at this positively. It's 11 against 11. Nobody really will give us a chance. We do well that way, and like I said, we can't lose this game whatever we do. The only way we could lose this game is if we lost 11-0. Really. But even that wouldn't dampen it. It's a game where Man U just can't win either. Because if they win this game, unless they win it by 8 or 9, you know, it'll just, you know, it won't prove much to them. But to us, it'll prove, you know, what the lads are capable of, what levels are they able to reach. And what we have to do is just play the game in sections. And I'm sure David will be telling them stuff like that. Playing in sections. They're going to have a lot of the ball, Man U. That is almost inevitable. They are going to have a lot of the ball. Counter-attack could be our best way of getting anything from this. And set pieces. I think it's going to be a big way of getting results out of this for Grimsby. You know, if you're wondering how Grimsby could do that, could be, like I said, counter-attacking and set pieces. Any set pieces, you know, free kicks, corners, anything like that. Like I said, this is coming up to the biggest game in my lifetime that Grimsby have ever played. Like I said, unfortunately I wasn't able to be there when we won at Anfield. I wasn't able to be there the night we beat Spurs at home, thanks to Kalala. I did mention that earlier, but for some reason, JP, your name escaped me for a minute. But you know, it's a game that we'll all cherish and we're buzzing to take part in. And also, obviously, they are promoting the Harry Haddocks. The club did put out a press release earlier stating about get the you can bring the Harry Haddocks and get them flying. You know, and I think the nice thing we should do, we should treat the Man U players after the game to possibly some Grimsby fish and chips. I think that's the only nice thing we should really give to them on this occasion. We want to really make Bulner Park a torrid place for them. I don't want them to come here and enjoy it. I don't want their players to come here and enjoy playing Grimsby Town. So, to me, like I said, guys, I'm not giving a prediction, but I do want yours. What you think will happen. Are you going? Were you lucky enough to be able to get a ticket? And if you were, what's your thoughts on it? I will let you know that apart from this as well, if going into tomorrow that you're still wanting the big sort of build-up feel, obviously you've got Dave Dixon, and he does a great podcast with called Three Fish on a Shirt. Do go and check that out. He did a episode 50 of the podcast as build-up for this. Do go and check that out. He's got all sorts of guests. Christine Green is on it. All sorts of guests on that one. And also go and check out the boys on the DM35 podcast as well. They have also released a preview as well for them. So do go and check both those podcasts out and give them a subscribe as well and a follow, because they both do great work. It feels like a great bunch of lads on the DN35 and you know, Three Fish on a Shirt, a great little podcast. They've had guests such as Adam Summerton on there, Mr. Grimsby, John Tonder, Morrow, Dave Moore, who I have to admit still feels weird to not see Dave running onto the pitch or jogging onto the pitch, but they had a good interview towards the end of Dave's tenure last season. So go and check those two podcasts, previews for the game. Do go and check them out. They're all a great bunch of guys, so do go and check them out for all the other build-up for the game coming up against Manchester United. Now, just to finish, since I'm on it, and what about Grimsby anyway, we made a signing out of the blue around about 6 o'clock. As I recorded this at 6 o'clock that evening. And Grimsby Town announced it by saying this: "We are happy to announce the signing of versatile midfielder Clark O'Dour," I believe that's how I pronounce his name, "on a season-long loan from Bradford." O'Dour signed for Bradford back in 2023 and arrives at London Park on the back of winning promotion from Sky Bet League 2 on the final day. So obviously he's going to know Jamie Walker. I wonder if Jamie had been in his ear. Interesting to know. The Kenyan began his career at Leeds United, and as I'm recording this, they lost tonight against Sheffield Wednesday. Oh joy! Getting in the first team, signing his first professional deal with the club in 2017, and at 19 made his professional debut. Excuse me, against QPR in the third round of the FA Cup. He spent further years with the Yorkshire club before joining up with Barnsley at the end of the 18-19 season. His one goal during his time at Oakwell was a vital one, netting in the 91st minute of the final game of the 1920 season against Brentford to secure survival in the Championship, going on to make 47 Championship appearances over a 3-year spell. O'Dour spent time on loan with Hartlepool for the 22-23 season before joining Bradford in 2023. The Kenyan, who has made one appearance for his nation, now joins up with David Artell's squad for the 25-26 League 2 campaign. And as I always say, same as what the man would say, welcome aboard to Clark. So it's quite an exciting day. A signing and all this build-up for this big game. And like I said, knowing that there's TV trucks in the Blundell Park car park 24 hours before needed is just shows you how big this game is, and the fact that it is going to be a sellout. I'm just so looking forward to this. Leave me your thoughts down below, guys. This is something you don't see every day as a Grimsby Town fan. Leave your thoughts down below, your team selection, who you would pick to go in against Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. And if you want to put your score predictions as well, let me know your score predictions. But like I said, go and check out Three Fish on a Shirt, and as well, please go and check out the DN35 podcast for their previews of this massive game. And yes, I will be back to review it as 9,000 fans go absolutely bananas. Win, lose or draw, this is going to be a crazy game. I can feel that, and I think this is just it's true, isn't it? It's a once in a lifetime game. So leave me your thoughts down below. Leave me, like I said, your team selections, your score predictions. If you think Grimsby are going to win, who's going to score the goals then? You know, let's think about this. But I'll be back with a review of this massive game, and let's see if we can probably cause a few shocks, shall we say, probably in the world of football. Can Grimsby get the result against Manchester United? We'll find out as the kick-off takes place on Wednesday night. It's an 8 o'clock kick-off due to the TV. So it's an 8 o'clock kick-off. It's something I'll be buzzing for. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you with a review of probably the biggest the biggest game in Devonley Town's recent history as a one-off game. So do let me know down below your thoughts. I will see you with a review after the game. I will see some of you, I'm sure, at Blundell Park tomorrow night as well. Oh, what a time to be a Mariners fan. I will see you guys very soon with another. Until then, guys, up the Mariners and bring on Amram and his boys to see if we can give them a little bit of a battering. Until then, I'll see you soon. Ta-da for now. Bye-bye.